What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to be at Wai-O-Tapu Thermal Wonderland, which is a real wonderland of geysers and hot pools, sulfur pools, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Mud pools, boiling mud pools.
They have boiling mud here.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be great. And you guys are coming with us, so let's go check it out. Alright, so the first stop on the Thermal Wonderland tour is Lady Knox Geyser.
It doesn't have a Maori name because it was actually discovered in the 1900s. They actually put a prison nearby for well-behaved prisoners, and they discovered that every time they would put soap in the hot spring, it would shoot up in a geyser. So they make it shoot up every single day at 10:15, just like Old Faithful.
Behind us, coming through the woods, is where the geyser and the seating area is. And this place was completely packed full of people. We made it to the mud pool, which is essentially a hot spring with not enough water. So it just makes this bubbling mud. It's almost boiling temperature. I'm sure you can hear it right now behind us. It's pretty amazing stuff. We're going to start the tour through the actual park now. They have a no smoking rule here because the plant life that's around the area is extremely flammable. And it's super dry this time of year.
This is Mahangarua. This is the first example of the heat collapsing and making a crater. If you notice, you might not be able to see it, but there's steam coming off of it, and there's a yellow greenish color.
Right here is actually the second stop on this tour. It is the Rainbow Crater. It's because there are different levels of oxidization coming from underneath the earth. It's oxidizing all the rock that's above this giant hole right here. The Maori people actually used to paint with these colors, and they would paint their boats and everything like that.
This is the third stop, is Thunder Crater. They call it Thunder Crater because when it initially created, it made a thunderous sound. Now, you will see in the rock kind of mold created. That means that water is coming out of the rock, and when it hits the ground, it becomes hot. It's 98 degrees. They predict that this is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
So, stop number 4 is this little seating area because the sun is really, really bright. Actually, I'm just kidding. It's Ipu, which is a very dark mud pool. Inside of Ipu, it's actually fed by the water that runs down from the rainfall, as well as crude oil that's trapped in the ground that bubbles up. That's what's creating this very black mud that you see. Pretty crazy.
Right now we're in the artist's palette. Hydrothermal eruption made it so that the water will spill out. This is actually a really cool sight because it doesn't look the same more than 2 days. You see yellow, red, green, kind of like a grayish color and like a lighter yellow-green color. Different minerals make those amazing colors that you see here.
It's called the Sinter Terrace, and it has this little toxic pool right here that will kill you if you go inside of it. So don't do that. And this, of course, is number 6 on the trail. This is the other side of the Sinter Terraces, the very top side, and this is number 7.
We have arrived to Wai-O-Tapu. This is actually a sacred track. Legend has it that this was an ancient burial ground. And number 9 is a panoramic view of the Kagaroa Forest. It's the largest man-made forest in the southern hemisphere.
Number 10 is actually the end of the Sinter Terraces. It looks kind of like microscopic terraces forming all along this little platform here. And you also see some of these darker greens, which is alive. So that means the water has cooled down by now and is actually allowing life to grow here. It's pretty crazy.
Spot number 11, the Alum Cliffs. The cliffs have shallow horizontal ridges that have been eroded from hundreds of years of weathering. And these are the Papawera Cliffs. And this is the other side of Papawera, which is number 12.
Alright, so this is number 13, Tepunatio, which means oyster pool. And if you'll take a look, it's in the shape of an oyster. This is number 14, the Sulfur Cave. That is sulfite gas cooling down underneath this ridge here. So it created this crazy greenish yellow effect up on the top. This is Lake Nakuru Waterfall, and we love waterfalls. This one is especially amazing because it's got this light, creamy green colored water that's overheated pouring into this cool lake. And you can actually see the color changing. And the reason that this lake is so green is because it has an algae bloom year round because the water is so warm that it allows the plant life to grow inside the lake. It's truly amazing. Number 16 is the Bushwalk, which is what we're going to do right now. I might just fast forward through this one. We're all sweaty. We've been hiking through this mountain.
Number 17, Sulfur Mounds. These anthill looking mounds were completely underwater until this area was drained in the 1950s to create the road that we came on.
So that little waterfall didn't actually exist in the 1950s. They actually drained this entire area, and you can see behind me the roots of all the plants. Every tree's roots are coming out here, and the water line was actually way up above my head. Pretty wild. So number 18 is actually Chief Aporo's bath. So he was the first chief that gave people tours here in the 1800s. His bath actually ran off of the Champagne pool and came down right here into this little hole, and he would bathe here. And that was the chief's bath, nobody else's.
This is number 19, Champagne Pool. And unlike the champagne that you drink, you probably shouldn't drink this because it is filled with acidic sulfates.
Number 20 is Rua Pumahu, which is boiling mud down at the bottom of this crater. You can kind of hear that bubbling noise. What they did was they actually recorded that noise and used it in scenes of The Lord of the Rings when they were in Mordor. Number 21, Rua Omhanga, which is this giant crater here. But the reason it's special is because there are birds that nest in the sides, starlings and swallows being two of them. The birds' eggs incubate inside these walls because of all the heat rising up from underneath. It's pretty incredible.
This is Angahuan Ariki, a sulfur cave. To the extreme right, there's a few chlorine pools in the area that may have been used by the locals back in the day to cook their meals.
We made it to the very end, number 23. This is the whole reason we even found out about this place. Devil's Bath. It has a pH of 2, which makes it extremely acidic.
It's 14 degrees Celsius though, so that sounds nice.
Yeah, it sounds pretty nice right about now. Alright, well, we're gonna get some photos, some nice shots of this. I am really red right now, so
We gotta go.
we gotta go. We're gonna close this one out. Check us out on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. You know what to do. Share it, like it, subscribe, and then subscribe again with all of your accounts. We'll see you guys at the next spot. You'll know about the bugs on my neck.